entered Juan Williams, news analyst for National Public Radio, and syndicated columnist Charles Krauthammer. Gentlemen, so the economy has lost 3 million jobs. We have 500,000 new claims just in the last month, but the administration, pointing to the stimulus money, claims it has saved or created at least 650,000 jobs, and as you heard the Vice President say, perhaps 1 million. One could be forgiven, Charles, for thinking the numbers are just a little squishy.
A little skepticism here is in order. The official number announced by the White House for jobs saved is 640,329. Not 28, not 27, 329. This is what you call comical precision. You know, when an economist uses a decimal point, that's a way of showing he's got a sense of humor. These people have a sense of humor. Here's what I want to know. Who is Mr. 329? Where does he live? What's his name? And what does he do? Is he perhaps from Uzinki, Alaska, population 170, on which the stimulus sprinkled $14.7 million, think of what you and I could do with that, Jim, in order to refurbish an airport that has a flight and a half a day, population 170, your tax dollars at work. In fact, if there are any jobs saved, it's because we bailed out a lot of extravagant, profligate states that were bankrupt, had heavily overspent, particular states that are controlled by unions. We bailed them out so that the frugal states, like Texas and others, that had a balanced budget, the citizens of Texas are subsidizing through Washington the states that heavily overspent in the good years and are running out of money. That's all it has done.
Juan, what's your take on this?
Well, I mean, I was just in Colorado, and I must say Governor Ritter out there, his budget is predicated on the fact that the stimulus money covered some of the budget shortfall for them. I mean, the state would be in financial chaos without the stimulus money being there. What we heard today from Governor Schwarzenegger, California, this is a very real plus for him in terms of managing that state, even as the state budget is a mess. So on one level, you could say, well, you know, states that were more responsible, therefore have to compensate and all that, and how much should we spend to create a job? I think the big point is here, it has been part of an effort, an economic team effort to somehow buoy this economy at a point of crisis and help us get out of this recession, and created the kind of positive psychic energy that allowed Wall Street to climb to 10,000, and Wall Street has gone down today a little bit after the good news of this week. It went up a bit this week, now it's gone down a little bit. But the point is that Wall Street's in a much better place now than it was easily a year ago.
Fred, you know, the governors often have nice things to say about stimulus money because it helped, it helped them, and it also helped them not have to fire state workers. One of the points President Obama made, though, President Obama made a point and said that that 90% of the jobs created would be in the private sector.
Yeah, well, that's obviously not true. I mean, there's so many of them are, even the jobs they claim to have created are mostly in the public sector, you know, school teachers and so on. And then there's a question of whether these states or local governments would actually have cut these jobs in the first place. We'll never know. I mean, you can say they're created, and there are lots of reliable sources who would challenge what Joe Biden says on this and practically everything, particularly on foreign policy. But, you know, here's what I wonder about. Whether the Obama administration is serving itself well when we have an economy that's in terrible shape, and they're going around saying, oh, we're creating and saving all these jobs, and that the growth in the third quarter of 3.6% represents a huge recovery and good times ahead in our economy, when half of that was created by the Cash for Clunkers program, which is now gone out of existence, and some by the first-time home buyers refundable tax credit, which I think expires next month. And what's going to happen? The economy is going to be slower in the fourth quarter and the first quarter next year, and going around pretending that things are better than they are, when people, the one thing people know best of all is their economy. They know who has a job and who doesn't have a job. They know when it's bad. They know in their own budgets. And Obama trying to tell them it's better than it is a mistake. They won't believe him. No, and particularly won't believe Joe Biden.
But isn't it a patch? I mean, can't you appreciate the idea that, look, we were in a really bad patch here, and the government took some temporary steps that have helped us to get over it. And it may be the case that we were giving the private sector a chance to recover, to get itself going after that tremendous bust in terms of Wall Street and the housing market. And it may be that the private sector is slow to get back in gear, so we will have some slowed down spread. But it's better to have done something than to have said, well, we're just going to leave it and let people suffer.
Wait, hey, don't give me that Obama stuff about, well, it's what I did or doing nothing.
Right.
That wasn't the alternative. You know, that's a false choice. The choice was between doing what the stimulus did, and which was only spending, and also having some serious tax cuts that would offer incentives to investment and creation of jobs. That's what's worked in the past. Worked for Reagan. No, the tax cuts were just handing money to people, not the kind, that incentivize businesses and businessmen to invest and create jobs. That's what worked for Reagan. It worked for Bush.
But I'm saying
it worked in the 60s.
A large part of the stimulus package was tax cuts. Can you agree?
No. Look, they were just sending checks to people who, and look, it's been quantified by economists better than Joe Biden that those had no effect on the economy whatsoever, nor did they have any effect when Bush sent them out in his administration.
When the administration speaks about saved jobs, all the numbers are invented. But we have two hard numbers that are not invented. Unemployment, almost 10%. And we know that the stimulus has created $1 trillion of debt, which is going to have to be repaid. It's not speculative. It's a hard number. We're going to have to either raise taxes or inflate our way out of it in the future.
Now, I mean, clearly, when you spend hundreds of billions of dollars, you're going to create some jobs. Mm-hmm. Well, just throwing all that money out there. The question is,
at preposterous cost.
Yeah.
Right.
At perhaps, if you do a certain calculation, it looks like it's about $500,000 a job in the current stimulus, or the administration will shave it to $250,000. That is still unbelievably inefficient.
Well, a number of people did some calculations, and a lot came up with like $240,000 a job.
Right.
These are not jobs that pay $240,000.
Precisely. It's your tax dollars subsidizing a job of, say, $30,000 at the cost of $250,000. It's not efficient. Efficient is to reduce, for example, the rate of taxation on employment by reducing the payroll tax or the taxes on small business. That would be a way to create income and jobs at a much more efficient rate.
There's one other option for you, Charles, which is that this economy could grow its way out of it. And we don't have to just additionally tax it. It could grow. And this money, it looks ridiculous when you say $230,000 per job. But what if it's building roads? What if it's putting in place infrastructure and ideas and allowing young people to get education that allows the private sector to grow?
Think of the airport in Uzinki, Alaska.
Well, you want to make fun of them. That's all. You're doing a Halloween trick or treat.
No. Look, at the very least, the stimulus may have helped a little, but nothing like the Obama administration said it would. Remember, in January, we're going to have 8% unemployment. It's about 10%.
Okay, next up, the Friday.